Like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who could bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GGB Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have your self to blame, y'all. Cricket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth off LGBTQ. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
All right, man. Y'all press 2 in the comment section if y'all can hear me. Got a mic check. 1 2 1 2. If y'all can hear me, press 2 in the comments. Y'all can hear me? I bet. Let's get into this video, man. Finna tell y'all what's going on, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Love, respect, and let's get into the video, man. So, some horrific news came out today, and it wasn't a joke. It wasn't April Fool's. It was real news, and we're gonna go over this whole situation because now it seems like NBA superstar LeBron James and other celebrities may be called to be deposed or testify as witnesses in this case against Sean Diddy Combs, Adria English, and Brendan. I gotta get the guy's name. I'll get his name in just a second. His full name. It's 4 people. But as I told you guys, according to the reports, it says Sean Diddy Combs paraded a man around in a you-know-what mask at a freak-off party. Wow. Allegedly, Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron James, Gloria Estefan, Jacob the Jeweler, and more saw this and witnessed this. I'm going to go through the actual lawsuit with you guys. And again, these are all allegations, man. Every party's innocent unless proven otherwise. But this thing is getting disgraceful. It's getting disgusting, man. And now it seems like, because I actually went through and read the lawsuit, that this person is calling them as witnesses. They're saying that these people are witnesses. And just to let you know that this is not cap, I actually have the lawsuit right here. It was actually filed, actually sealed today. You guys can go look it up yourselves. It's in the filings. It's real. This is not April Fool's. This is not cap. It was filed in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida. Now, it's from Joseph Manzato. Now, Joseph Manzato is suing Sean Diddy Combs, Eric Mejias, Brendan Paul, Emilio Estefan, and Adria English, right? And an individual, John Doe's. So let me let y'all know what's going on, man. He has named multiple people and these allegations as witnesses to this crime. Some people I seen saying, "Oh, well, it's not a crime to go to a freak off." Excuse me. What he's saying is that these people witnessed a crime. See what I'm saying? Is what he's alleging, and that he wants them. You know what I'm saying? He basically named them as witnesses to a crime that was committed to him. Now, I will read this lawsuit to you guys and let y'all know exactly what's going on. So let's get to it. It says, comes now Joseph Manzaro by and through his undersigned counsel. This files this verified complaint for damages, injunctive relief, and jury demand against defendants Sean Combs, Eric Mejias, Bonnie Rivera, Brendan Paul, Emilio Estefan, Adria English. For you guys who don't know who some of these people are, some of them are on the screen right there. Brendan Paul, upper right hand corner. Y'all know Jay Beyonce, Adria English, lower left hand corner. LeBron Ramon James is not have a lawsuit filed against him, but those three people, Diddy, Brendan, and Adria, that's in that picture, they all are being sued. The other people are being called as witnesses. Now, let me let y'all back to what we were saying so that you guys can understand what's going on. So basically, it states as follows. And then it gives you the parties. And it kind of says, that plaintiff, Joseph Mazzaro, is a natural person and resident of Palm Beach County, Florida. Plaintiff is a survivor of human trafficking, sexual exploitation, and organized criminal enterprise, and is otherwise sui juris. Now, I want to say this to you guys. Before people come out and start saying all these crazy things about these certain people, we don't know if these people are witnesses or not. We don't know if these people are victims. We don't know if this guy's a victim in the actual upcoming trial. Let me repeat this again. We don't know if this dude, because this dude is suing for human trafficking, sexual exploitation, and organized criminal enterprise, and is otherwise sui juris, right? So we don't know, right? We don't know. I'm just telling y'all what it is, man. Telling y'all what it is, bro. Right? So let's get to it. It goes on to say, defendant, and I won't show y'all every single page, but I'm going to show y'all some of these pages. Hold on, let me start right here. I don't want to show y'all every single page. Let me get to this. Hold on. Is this it right here? No, that's not it. Hold on. I want to make sure I get this right for y'all. I'm not going to go through where all the defendants live. I don't think it's right for me to put up their addresses on here. So, because it gives their actual addresses, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to give their addresses. So I'm just going to go right to the introduction then, right? We'll get right to the actual introduction and the allegations, right? So there's the introduction right there for everybody. You guys can see, and then I'll just read on. It says that introduction, number 13. This action is brought against defendants for human trafficking, drugging, kidnapping, sexual exploitation, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, fraudulent concealment, conspiracy, and related unlawful conduct under both federal and Florida law. Number 14, the plaintiff was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as a victim of a coercive and organized criminal enterprise beginning in 2015, orchestrated and facilitated by the defendants. The pattern of threats, concealment, manipulation, psychological coercion persisted for years, extending the statute of limitations under federal tolling doctrines. Number 15, defendants not only participated in the trafficking and drugging of the plaintiff, but also obstructed justice, facilitated cover-ups, intimidated the plaintiff, and enabled these crimes through conspiracy and concealment. Number 16, the plaintiff possesses medical records from a licensed urologist. So this plaintiff says they have evidence. Let me repeat myself again. Everybody's quick to try to shoot down these claims. This person says they have evidence. That's the part, and that's why I said it's important to read paperwork and not just listen to any old person on YouTube. It says plaintiff possesses medical records from a licensed urologist and surgeon documenting sexual maiming, disfigurement, and serious inguinal hernias, possibly inoperable, which continue to impact his quality of life, and physical well-being. Number 17, defendant Brendan relayed defendant Diddy's instructions and coordinated plaintiff's transport. Defendant Adria, who referred to herself as, and listen, while they naming this guy in this lawsuit, this guy right here, I told y'all he disappeared for no, bro, he got his case dismissed. This dude was caught with the C word. How did his case get dismissed? Look at this. We got to go back to him real quick. Bro, I swear, I think that you cannot tell me that, bro, there ain't no way he walked away from that, bro. Remember that article right there where Brendan Paul got charges dropped when he was in possession of the C? Make that make sense. And disappeared. Right? Let's keep going. It says defendant Brendan relayed defendant Diddy's. That's why I said this trial need to be put on national TV, bro. They need to put this trial on TV, bro. Have full transparency on both sides, bro. So people won't be saying, oh, they're lying, they're capping. Nah, I want everybody, I want the whole world to see this on both sides. So we can see who really telling the truth and who really lying. It says defendant Brendan relayed defendant Diddy's instructions and coordinated plaintiff's transport. Defendant Adria, now that's the woman I told y'all about, the girl who is in the bottom left-hand corner. She was the one who, that has been confirmed, she's been in some of the Diddy's parties because she was posted in actual, formal post of photos from his party. She was actually like featured in these pictures. So there's no question that she was at some of these events. But let's keep going. It says that defendant Adria, who referred to herself, which she came on YouTube and did multiple interviews, as Diddy's sexual assistant, acted as an enabler and co-conspirator, assisting in plaintiff's targeting, isolation, and concealment after the incident. Number 18, defendant Eric, who was drugged and transported by the plaintiff, later posted threats on Facebook, blaming the plaintiff for Bonnie Rivera's unaliving and issued repeated death threats against the plaintiff, including kidnapping threats towards the plaintiff's blank son. Y'all can read that, right? I won't read that name. Defendant Eric also attempted to manipulate the plaintiff by requesting contact before the plaintiff's memories had fully returned. Number 19, surveillance footage. They got surveillance footage. See, this is why you have to read lawsuits before you cap and come on YouTube. Oh, I don't believe none of this shit. You need to read the lawsuits. The man said he got, not only he got medical records, read number 19. Surveillance footage captured defendant Eric trespassing on the plaintiff's property while attempting to evade detection. Additional security footage from 2015 shows a hitman known as Sigfredo Garcia, associate with defendant Eric, who is now serving a life sentence in an unrelated murder for hire case in the plaintiff's alleyway. A police report was filed corroborating this encounter. That's crazy. Number 20, these acts of intimidation, surveillance, and fraud were continued for years and were designed to suppress the plaintiff's memory and delay or prevent legal recourse. Number 21, high-profile individuals, including Jacob Arabo, who's Jacob the jeweler, Jay-Z, Gloria Estefan, LeBron James, and Beyonce Knowles Carter are identified as witnesses. Just so y'all know I ain't making this shit up, I put on your screen. Let me blow that part up. Hold on, that's not it. Let me get this right. Let me get this right here. Hold on. Right there at the bottom of y'all screen. Y'all see it? Right to the bottom of y'all screen. Bottom of y'all screen. Right there. Let's go to number 21 again. 21 says that all those people named right there are identified as witnesses, right? Due to their presence or knowledge of the events surrounding the freak off orchestrated by defendant Diddy. So this person is saying that they were at the freak off. Now I know you might say, "Hey, Ticket Man, I don't see that. Let me show y'all, because I know I don't want no nigga to come on here and say I'm capping, nigga. I'll put this on the screen, show y'all, right? Just so y'all can say, oh no, that was a regular, that had to been a regular party. No, that's not what this man said. This man said it was a freak off. Period. Says a freak off. And he says he has evidence of medical reports. Now let's get to this. Now, whether they were there or not, I have no idea. I wasn't there. I'm just telling you what this man said. And this man said they was. Now there go your screen right there. I blew it up just so y'all couldn't have no excuses in the comments, because I know how they try to come with a lot of excuses. Read that again. It says, number 21, high profile individuals including Jacob Arabo, Jay-Z, Gloria Estefan, LeBron James, and Beyonce Knowles Carter are identified as witnesses due to their presence or knowledge of the events surrounding the freak off orchestrated by defendant Diddy. Now remember, I'm gonna say this again. Remember the police officer. I never forget this. The police officer, Derek Parker, NYPD police officer, came out. Now this dude was following Diddy for all the year. Remember, he's the officer who arrested Diddy on that gun case in New York, because he follows, the hip hop cop was following these guys. He said that he had heard that they were, I'm gonna let him say it.
Other more important people that are at these freak off parties that are everybody's running scared right now. You notice.
So who other more important people? Like, what are the names that you would be looking at?
Well, I mean, Ashton Kutcher has already been linked to having business with Diddy and being involved with some of the things. So I know that he's a little taken back by this, because I've been hearing that about him. And then there are other people that Diddy has had relationships with. You got to remember, he was a billionaire, and on a billionaire status, where he moved and ran with the most elite celebrities and entertainers in the world. So I'm sure all these people were at this party at one time. LeBron James was always saying, "Hey, Diddy party there's no party like a Diddy party." So,
I mean, because I've been reading about that too. Do we really think LeBron James went to some?
Oh yeah, he was at those parties. From what we know, he was definitely at those parties.
So the police officer told y'all then, from what we know, he was definitely at those parties, but people said it was cap. And he didn't just say parties, he said freak off parties. Let me play that again.
Other more important people that are at these freak off parties that are.
There are people that are at these freak off parties. Let me play that one more time. This is the police saying, it's not Ticket.
Other more important people that are at these freak off parties that are everybody's running.
Play it one more time.
Other more important people that are at these freak off parties that are everybody's running scared right now. You notice.
He said everybody's running scared. And when I told y'all that, when he said that months ago, these dudes came over here, oh, Ticket, you kept me. Nigga, that's the police. That is the hip hop cop who followed. Let's keep going. So it says facts. Going down to the next part, it says facts. It says on or about April the 15th at approximately 5:30 p.m., plaintiff arrived at his residence located at I can't say the name, right? Blank, blank, in Palm Beach, Florida, right? As plaintiff unlocked his door and turned the handle, he felt a greasy substance resembling Vaseline on his hand. Plaintiff attempted to wash his hands, but lost consciousness before he could do so. When the plaintiff regained consciousness, he was in the back seat of a moving vehicle driven by defendant Eric, right? With Bonnie Rivera in the passenger seat. Plaintiff inquired about his location, expressing confusion and insisting that he was supposed to be at home. Then, before losing his consciousness again, the plaintiff overheard Bonnie Rivera telling the defendant Eric that he was regaining consciousness asking, he's waking up, cuz, what should I do? Do you want me to knock him out? To which the defendant Eric responded, no, don't touch him. Don't worry. Just give him a minute. He'll fall back to sleep again. I gave him a lot of that SCOPOLAMINE. You spell it out. Number 24. The plaintiff regained consciousness at defendant Eric's residence in Deerfield Beach, Florida. He got some specific names for him to be out here capping like this. Specific areas too, where he was being forcibly held. While there, he witnessed a man named Omar Bravo deliver 2 kilograms of narcotics, the C word, and the METH word, which the defendant Eric accepted. Plaintiff saw that defendant Brendan, who is the mule again, alleged, right? That guy right there, right? We make sure we get this stuff right, right? Accepted. Plaintiff saw that defendant Brendan, appearing nervous, sat nearby with a motorcycle helmet in his lap. After the transaction, the drugs were placed in defendant Brendan's backpack. Before leaving, defendant Brendan stated that defendant Diddy wanted the plaintiff to be brought to a freak-off event, making the plaintiff realize he was being transported against his will. Upon arrival at the security booth at Star Island, right, all occupants, I ain't gonna read the address, all occupants of the vehicle were required to present identification. Plaintiff was forcefully released from his de-induced stupor for positive identification. Defendant Eric informed security that they were attending an event at the Estefan Mansion. Mentioned it was Christian, meaning Christian Combs' birthday party that night, right? Didn't say it was his birthday, it said it was his birthday party. Remember that now, that's very important. Because I seen TMZ try to put up a report and say, oh, his birthday was on the 1st. They didn't say when his birthday party was. It just, you guys said when his birthday was. It didn't say when his birthday party. A lot of people have birthday parties was not on their actual birthday. The security logs at the entrance of Star Island would reflect this entry. So he's saying that the security logs at the entrance of Star Island would confirm his testimony. Number 26, the plaintiff was dragged through the back entrance of Estefan Mansion, meaning Gloria Estefan's mansion, at approximately 12:30 a.m. Inside Gloria Estefan, panicked. He said she panicked upon seeing the plaintiff's deteriorating state, demanding, and I quote, call an ambulance. However, defendant Emilio, who is the man that stands beside her, right, quickly silenced her and ushered her away into the crowd. At that moment, the plaintiff briefly saw LeBron James, NBA superstar, who was wearing a white bath towel, right? And see, this cap right here, I couldn't let it go for nobody. I had to blow this stuff up for y'all. At that moment, and see, this is why I try to tell y'all, they're saying these people were witnesses. So I'm telling y'all, they're going to call these people to get deposed and try to get these people to testify in court under the penalty of perjury. Number 27. And we don't even know if this person's the actual victim or witness in the actual federal indictment. We don't know. We're going to find out, though. It says, number 27. At that moment, plaintiff briefly saw LeBron James, who was wearing a white bath towel, brown shower shoes, and carrying a shaving bag, walking through the hallway. LeBron James looked at the plaintiff and, in response to Gloria Estefan's plan for an ambulance, remarked, y'all better do something about that. The plaintiff was then led by defendant Adria, who identified herself as Diddy's personal sexual assistant, and through a concealed tunnel that connected Estefan Mansion to Defendant Diddy's mansion. Plaintiff was secretly transferred to Defendant Diddy's mansion. Number 29. Upon regaining partial consciousness, the plaintiff found himself inside a large party area. Upon information and belief that it was Diddy's son's birthday party, Jay-Z and Beyonce Knowles Carter were seated in the room. And upon seeing the plaintiff, Beyonce Knowles Carter asked, "What's this?" Question mark. "What's this all about?" Question mark. "Why is this half-naked white man with a cocked mask standing here in front of me?" Question mark. Is what he said Beyonce said when she saw him. Defendant Eric responded, "Diddy wants him to see what we do to snitches. This is a part of his punishment." Number 30. Plaintiff was forcefully paraded through multiple rooms filled with people who were jeering and taunting him. Defendant Diddy explicitly ordered the plaintiff's degradation, saying, "He's going to find out what we do to snitches tonight. Get him undressed." Plaintiff was stripped and placed inside a shower. And to the person who says BS, Eddie, hey, it's cool. Man said he got evidence though. And he said he's going to present that in court. So we'll see who lying and who flying, baby. We'll see. He said he not only do he have medical records, he said he have video footage of some of the things that he's made allegations of in this statement, sir. So before you talk, you might want to shut your mouth, because y'all said that same shit about Cassie with Diddy, and look what happened. It blew all up in your face. Now let's keep going. Number 31. The plaintiff was stripped and placed inside a shower area where two unidentified women forcefully washed him while defendants Eric and Bonnie Rivera watched. Following this, the plaintiff was dressed in a small thong bikini bottom and a black leather mask with a rubber dam forcefully inserted and zip closed over his head, a locking sex device was affixed to the mask, which protruded from his mouth. Plaintiff was then subjected to degrading and non-consensual acts at the discretion of defendants Diddy and Adria. And let me say this to y'all, to everybody that's listening to this video, y'all telling me to scroll down. I can't, because I can't show y'all all the parts of this lawsuit on YouTube. That's the bad part. I can't show y'all, because y'all got to remember, when they file these lawsuits, it is uncut and unedited. So I can't do that. I can't just show y'all every single part. Can't show y'all all these different words. Some of these words are banned and prohibited. So that's why I got to go around it. I hope y'all understand that. Right? And the words I know I can't say, I'll either spell it out or change it up for y'all so y'all can understand. Right? It says that plaintiff was sexually assaulted and forced to partake in unwanted sexual activity using the mask and sex toy on a large black leather ottoman fist until he lost consciousness again. Let me repeat that line again. The plaintiff was sexually assaulted and forced to partake in unwanted sexual activity using the mask and sex toy on a large black leather ottoman fist until he lost consciousness again. When the plaintiff regained partial awareness, he was locked in a small dark side room, left on a black leather couch until defendant Adria and defendant Eric entered, dressed him, and prepared him for transport out of the property. While still semi-conscious, plaintiff encountered Jacob Arabo, meaning Jacob the jeweler, who was visibly disturbed upon seeing the plaintiff in his forced attire. He asked, "What's this? What's going on with this guy?" Why is he standing here staring at me with a penis strapped to his face? Defendant Eric responded, oh, he's just some guy who's a snitch. We're teaching him a little lesson. Defendant Emilio intervened, instructing Defendant Eric and Bonnie Rivera to move the plaintiff out of Jacobs, the jeweler's sight. Gloria Estefan again pleaded for an ambulance to be called. Defendant Emilio silenced her and shoved her into the crowd. Upon leaving the event, plaintiff overheard Defendant Diddy ask Defendant Eric, "You're gonna be getting rid of him, right?" Question mark. To which Defendant Eric responded, "Yeah, I'll be taking care of that." Following the freak-off event, plaintiff was returned to the gang house where he was savagely beaten and left for dead inside his apartment. When a gang member later inquired about how the plaintiff was kept unconscious, Defendant Eric responded, XYLAZINE, trank. As a direct result of the defendant's deliberate acts of violence, the plaintiff suffered catastrophic physical injuries, including severe internal trauma, permanent growing damage, sexual maiming, and multiple inguinal hernias. These life-altering injuries are extensively documented by medical evaluations from a urologist and surgeon. In the years following the attack, Defendant Eric engaged in an ongoing campaign of targeted harassment, publicly issuing death threats against the plaintiff, blaming him for Bonnie Rivera's unaliving of himself, and threatening to kidnap the plaintiff's young son, all in an effort to intimidate the plaintiff into silence. Surveillance footage and official police reports confirm multiple attempts by Defendant Eric to unlawfully approach the plaintiff's property. He said he got video footage. Additionally, a hitman named Sigfredo Garcia, who is now serving a life sentence in an unrelated murder, was in the plaintiff's alleyway. A police report was filed corroborating this encounter, seen as an associate of Defendant Eric, was captured on security cameras outside of the plaintiff's residence. Further evidence of a coordinated campaign of intimidation. I believe this guy might be involved in this case. Because if he got video footage, if he got this type of footage, man, I'm telling y'all this. I think he might be going civil too. We're going to see. This shit all get ready to come out. Defendant Adria actively obstructed the plaintiff's ability to seek justice by tampering with evidence, interfering with legal proceedings, and conspiring to conceal the crimes committed against the plaintiff. Defendant's acts of coercion, obstruction, threat, and ongoing intimidation persisted until at least 2021, demonstrating a clear pattern of misconduct that effectively told the applicable statutes of limitation under federal and state law. Plaintiff has now compiled the necessary evidentiary foundation to proceed with this legal action, including verified medical records, sworn witness statements, and corroborating documentation. Let me repeat that again, because see, these niggas be talking about, oh man, I don't believe it. It's all cap. Let me read this part again. The plaintiff has now compiled, that means he has in his possession, the necessary evidentiary foundation to proceed with this legal action, including verified medical records, sworn witness statements, and corroborating documentation directly implicating the defendants in his abduction, drugging, sexual exploitation, and abuse. As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's actions, the plaintiff has suffered severe and ongoing physical injuries, profound psychological trauma, and irreparable emotional distress. Defendant's deliberate, coordinated, and malicious conduct caused plaintiffs significant economic damages, prolonged suffering, and lasting harm and damages in the amount to be determined at trial. Count number 1, cause of action against defendant John Combs, aka Diddy. Plaintiff re-alleges and incorporates by reference all preceding paragraphs of this complaint as if fully set forth herein. And y'all need to smash the like button as y'all come on in. We got almost 2,000 people here. Smash the like button, man. I'm in here reading this whole thing for y'all, man. Hit the like button, man, and subscribe. Hit the like button. I was never capping. I'm just reading the report. You don't get mad at me. Under 18 USC 1595 and Florida Statute 78706, it is unlawful to knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, conspire, transport, provide, obtain, or maintain a person subject to force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of sexual exploitation. Defendant knowingly recruited, transported, harbored, and obtained a plaintiff through an organized and coercive criminal enterprise, utilizing subordinates and co-conspirators to facilitate the plaintiff's trafficking for the purpose of sexual exploitation. Defendant directed and orchestrated the plaintiff's abduction by his associates, including defendant Eric and defendant Brendan, who drugged and transported the plaintiff against his will to locations controlled by defendant and his affiliates. Defendant knowingly harbored plaintiff at his private residence, where plaintiff was subjected to non-consensual acts, forced participation in degrading sexual abuse, and extreme humiliation in front of others for the defendant's personal gratification and control. The defendant acted in furtherance of a pattern of sex trafficking by operating and hosting events where victims, including, so he said there's more victims that was there. He's saying, let me read that again. It says, he's blaming Diddy right here. He says, defendant acted in furtherance of a pattern of sex trafficking by operating and hosting events where victims, including the plaintiff, were subjected to sexual servitude, forced participation in criminal activities under threat of harm and retaliation. Number 52, the defendant utilized force, fraud, and coercion to enslave the plaintiff within his trafficking enterprise, violating both federal and state anti-trafficking laws. The defendant facilitated the drugging, confinement, and physical subjugation of the plaintiff to render him unable to resist or escape. Plaintiff was involuntarily intoxicated with SCOPOLAMIN and later XYLAZIN, drugs commonly used by traffickers to incapacitate their victims. The plaintiff was forcefully stripped, physically handled, and paraded before an audience as an object of degradation at the defendant's direction. Plaintiff was further subjected to force, participation in non-consensual sexual acts, including use of physical restraints and sexual devices, causing severe physical and psychological trauma. To the brother who said this is fake news, sorry, you can go look at the filings, brother. This ain't fake. But I tell you one thing, the man upstairs is real, and he coming to clean house, baby. So any of these people that's out here doing wrong, they ain't going against the big dog, because the big dog always gonna have the last say, and not that demon that you worship down below. Now you better believe that, boy, and get your ass on the right side of history. Defendant, through his agents, lured and transported plaintiff under false pretenses, manipulating his incapacitated state to facilitate his trafficking and assault. Defendant exercised psychological and emotional control over the plaintiff through systematic intimidation, threats of violence, and witness tampering. Defendant Diddy explicitly ordered his subordinates to ensure the plaintiff's continued subjugation, stating, he's going to find out what we do to snitches tonight. Get him undressed. Defendant conspired with others to suppress and conceal evidence of plaintiff's trafficking and assault, engaging in ongoing campaign of threats, harassment, intimidation to deter the plaintiff from seeking legal recourse. Defendant knowingly trafficked plaintiff for the purpose of forced labor and sexual servitude, using him as an object of humiliation and violence to assert control and dominance. Plaintiff was subjected to non-consensual and degrading acts in a commercial setting where influential individuals, including celebrities and high-profile guests, were present as participants and witnesses. Let me repeat this again. He says participants and witnesses. Defendant profited from and facilitated a network of trafficking individuals forced into sexual exploitation at his events, creating an environment where victims were rendered powerless through drugs, violence, and coercion. This is why I told y'all, Diddy's lawyers asked to have that person come in and look at those things. The feds, I guarantee y'all, they have these people's medical reports. They're going to show that shit at the trial. I bet my bottom dollar, and you can bet your bottom dollar on that shit. See, y'all think this shit is capped. It's going to be big game when that courtroom starts. Defendant's conduct was willful, malicious, and demonstrated a reckless disregard for human rights and dignity. Defendant's actions resulted in catastrophic physical injuries, including permanent sexual maiming, multiple inguinal hernias, and severe internal trauma. Number 64, defendant's conduct caused irreparable psychological harm, loss of memory, post-traumatic stress, and prolonged emotional distress, constituting severe and ongoing damage to the plaintiff's well-being. As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's conduct, the plaintiff has suffered severe physical, emotional, and psychological harm, including but not limited to post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, permanent disfigurement, and other damage. He said he's been permanently disfigured from this, from them allegedly putting stuff up his you know what. That's insane, bro. That's insane, man. That is insane, bro. I'm telling y'all, man. That is sad, bro, if that's true, man. It goes on to say, count 2, cause of action against defendant Eric Mayes. Plaintiff realleges and incorporates all reference all preceding paragraphs of his complaint as fully set forth herein, right? Under 18 U.S.C. 1595 and Florida Statute 787.06, it is unlawful to knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, conspire, transport, provide, obtain, or maintain a person subject to force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of sexual exploitation. It said the defendant played a critical role in the trafficking of plaintiff by drugging, transporting, and harboring him in furtherance of a larger criminal trafficking enterprise operated by Diddy. The defendant personally facilitated Diddy's forced intoxication by administering those same drugs that I told y'all before, right, that are commonly used to incapacitate, certain victims and make them unable to resist sexual assault. It says the defendant physically transported the plaintiff against his will to locations controlled by Defendant Diddy and his associates, ensuring the plaintiff remained under chemical and physical control throughout. Defendant knowingly harbored the plaintiff at a private residence where he was subjected to non-consensual sexual acts, forced degradation, extreme humiliation, all orchestrated by the trafficking enterprise. Defendant Diddy employed force, fraud, and coercion to facilitate the plaintiff's trafficking and assault. Defendant participated in the physical restraint and subjugation of the plaintiff. He forcefully removed the plaintiff's clothing and ensured his complete incapacitation before handing him over to others for further abuse. The defendant engaged in deceptive conduct by luring the plaintiff into an environment under false pretense and knowing that the plaintiff would be subject to sexual servitude and violent degradation. Defendant further ensured plaintiff's continued subjugation through intimidation, physical manipulation, and explicit threats, making it clear that any attempt to resist or escape will result in severe retaliation. Defendant aided and abetted Diddy in trafficking enterprise by ensuring that the plaintiff was forcibly restrained and subjected to repeated acts of sexual violence. Defendant personally ensured the execution of Defendant Diddy's command. He's going to find out what we do to snitches tonight, get him undressed, further proving his knowledge or his knowing involvement in human trafficking. The defendant knowingly trafficked the plaintiff for the purposes of sexual exploitation, directly contributing to the ongoing pattern of forced servitude, right, and abuse at events orchestrated by Diddy. Defendant played an instrumental role in ensuring that the plaintiff was made available for non-consensual sexual acts, facilitating his forced participation in criminal activities for the benefit of the trafficking enterprise. Diddy profited from and actively participated in a network, of trafficking individuals, reinforcing the system where powerful individuals, including celebrities and high-profile guests, could exploit victims without consequence. He's saying that celebrities was doing this shit too. He's saying that celebrities was having sex with these people too and exploiting these people. Plaintiff was subjected to non-consensual and degrading acts in a commercial setting where the defendant acted as an enforcer, procurer, and handler, ensuring that trafficked victims remain compliant through chemical subjugation and physical coercion. Defendant's conduct was deliberate, malicious, and in reckless disregard of the plaintiff's human rights and dignity. The defendant conspired with others to suppress and conceal evidence of the plaintiff's trafficking and assault. He directly participated in threats, harassment, and intimidation tactics to prevent the plaintiff from reporting the crimes committed against him. The defendant was not merely a subordinate participant, but was an active facilitator and ensuring that the plaintiff remained under complete submission and control, making it impossible for him to escape or resist the trafficking enterprise. Defendant's actions resulted in catastrophic physical injuries, including permanent sexual maiming, multiple inguinal hernias, and severe internal trauma. The defendant's conduct caused irreparable physical, psychological harm, loss of memory, post-traumatic stress, and prolonged emotional stress, constituting severe and ongoing damage to the plaintiff's well-being. As a direct proximate result of the defendant's conduct, the plaintiff has suffered severe physical, emotional, and psychological harm, including but not limited to post-traumatic stress disorder, right? Anxiety, depression, permanent disfiguration, and other damages, right? The plaintiff seeks all remedies under 18 U.S.C. 1595, Florida Statute 78706, including but not limited to compensatory damages, punitive damages, treble damages, attorney fees, medical costs, pain and suffering, and all other relief this court deems just and proper. Now, he also said the same thing about this dude, Brendan Paul. He basically said, the same things. But he also said this about Defendant Paul, right? He said the defendant was an active participant in the plaintiff's trafficking, working in concert with Defendant Diddy and Defendant Eric to ensure the plaintiff's complete subjugation, right? It says that defendant personally participated in luring the plaintiff into an environment where he will be drugged, transported, and sexually exploited. The defendant facilitated the plaintiff's forced intoxication, personally administrating or assisting in administration of those drugs I told y'all that are commonly used by traffickers to incapacitate victims. Defendant, along with Defendant Eric, physically transported the plaintiff against his will to locations controlled by Diddy, ensuring that the plaintiff remained incapacitated and vulnerable to further acts of trafficking and abuse. Defendant harbored plaintiff at a private residence where he was subjected to non-consensual sexual acts, and he basically saying all these things that he basically said about the other defendants. And then he went on to the Emilio guy, right? Now, the Emilio guy, he basically laid out the same claims against this guy. You know what I'm saying? Now, he had some other claims against this guy as well. You know what I mean? Now, this guy, bro, this is crazy, bro. He said that, this guy directly threatened and intimidated victims, including the plaintiff, warning them to remain silent or facing retaliation. He said that this guy may not have personally engaged in physical violence, but he knowingly facilitated the use of force by others, allowing trafficked victims, including the plaintiff, to be restrained, drugged, and sexually exploited within his controlled spaces. It says that he also provided security personnel, financial backing, and logistical support to ensure that the trafficking victims had no means of escape and remained under control of the trafficking network, right? It said the defendant was fully aware that the plaintiff was subjected to forced drugging, physical abuse, and non-consensual sexual acts, yet he continued to facilitate and enable the trafficking enterprise for personal and financial benefit. This is crazy. It says that he was involved in the suppression of evidence, ensuring that law enforcement, media, and industry insiders remain silent or complicit in covering up the trafficking activities. This is crazy. It's crazy. Right? Man, bro, this is sad, bro. What this dude said happened to him, man. I mean, this is absolutely devastating. Then he goes in on the girl, Adria English, and he talks about all the things he alleged that she did to him as well in this lawsuit, man. This is just sad. Then he goes on to Eric Mejias, right? And so he goes in on him hard. Man, bro. He goes in on him super hard on this. It's just talking about all the different things that he's alleging against these guys. I'm trying to skip through it. This thing is 64 pages long. I want to get to y'all the good parts. Okay, let me get to y'all back to this. Cause of action against Defendant Diddy. right? Sean John Combs, aka Diddy, right? It goes on to say that under 18 USC 1512, 1513, and Florida Statute 914.22, it is unlawful to knowingly use intimidation, threats, corrupt persuasion, or physical force to influence, delay, or prevent the testimony of a witness in an official proceeding to hinder, delay, or prevent communication of information to law enforcement relating to the commission of a crime. Defendant individually and in concert with others engaged in a deliberate and sustained campaign of intimidation, threats, coercion aimed at preventing plaintiff from testifying truthfully and providing evidence against him and concealment to suppress the plaintiff's ability to testify or report crimes. Defendant used direct and indirect threats, coercion, and financial incentives to manipulate plaintiff into remaining silent about the defendant's criminal conduct. Defendant referred to the plaintiff as a snitch and warned the plaintiff of severe consequences should the plaintiff cooperate with the law enforcement or legal authorities. This was done both personally and through intermediaries acting on the defendant's behalf. Defendant deployed associates to contact plaintiff and other potential witnesses, issuing threats of bodily harm and reputational damage should they disclose incriminating information. Defendant engaged in acts of intimidation, including surveillance of the plaintiff's residence and place of employment, sending anonymous messages warning the plaintiff of consequences for speaking out, utilizing social media and industry connections to blackball the plaintiff and isolate them professionally. The defendant engaged in retaliatory acts against the plaintiff for attempting to seek justice, including escalating threats, violence, and other intimidation acts and violence in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1513, which prohibits retaliation against a witness for providing information regarding criminal conduct. Defendant's actions created a well-founded fear in the plaintiff, causing severe emotional distress, trauma, and fear for their personal safety. Defendant's actions constitute violations of 18 USC 1512, which prohibits intimidation, threats, or corruption, persuasion with the intent to influence a witness's testimony, which prohibits the second one, which prohibits harassment to hinder, delay, or prevent the communication of information to law enforcement. The next one, which prohibits retaliation against a witness for reporting a federal crime, right? Reporting a federal crime, right? We getting to this. We getting to this. Salute to everybody that's in the building too. We getting to all this. Y'all need to see this. We not playing no games with this thing. We getting to the funk. Straight like that. Right? It also goes on to say, which prohibits intentionally hindering or preventing a witness from testifying truthfully in legal proceedings. Right? It says, and also which prohibits retaliation against a witness for reporting a federal offense or providing truthful testimony. Right? Y'all need to see these things I'm saying to y'all, because these things is real. It goes on to say, and man, this is just crazy, man. This is crazy, bro. I mean, he goes in, bro. Damn. He talks about obstruction of justice, witness tampering against Eric Macias. Talked about how the dude called him a snitch. All this other stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? He said he had security footage on one of these guys. This is just sad situation, man. You know what I'm saying? He went in on all these guys, man. Basically just showing all the counts against him, man. And my thing is this, you guys. This is just a sad situation. You see something like this, somebody say this, bro. And I mean, the dude has his medical reports. He actually have this stuff where he says that he had enough evidence to actually come forward and file this lawsuit. Right? Think about this. So now he finally has enough to come forward with this lawsuit. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. Um, he said they tried to hurt his. He said they did everything they could to stop him. You know, that's what he said, bro. And it goes on too. Uh, damn. Boy, they talk like Diddy ain't shit in this thing, man. Man. So yeah. So for you guys, basically, here's the thing. Let me tell y'all this. LeBron James and all these other people they name as witnesses. I believe that this guy's going to try to get them. There, first of all, he's going to try to get them deposed, meaning that they got to go speak under the penalty of perjury and be deposed about this case. If this case goes forward, I believe that he's going to try to get them deposed. He came forward with his name, so this ain't going to be no. He dropped the lawsuit because of his name. He came forward with his name, so he obviously wasn't afraid to stand up on this. And the fact that you had a dude that allegedly been done like this and said he ran into LeBron James like that, bro, like come on, man. And said LeBron James said y'all need to do something about this. Come on, bro. Says Gloria Estefan was trying to call an ambulance, but Emilio stopped her. Said nah. He claims that Beyonce and I was like, what the world is going on with this guy? Jacob the jeweler and all of them was looking at him like, what's going on? And he said they told them, oh, this is how we do snitches. So we're really saying this guy was in that bad a shape, man. And all these people seeing this and just sat right by idly and allegedly did nothing, bro. That's just sad if that's true, bro. And I'm telling you something, man. This dude right here, he gonna make them people testify. I'm telling y'all this. He gonna make these people that he's claiming as witnesses. That's why he named them in the lawsuit. He's gonna make them test. And the fact that he said that there were more victims lets me think there's more people that may come out. And I'm telling y'all this, watch. Before the lawsuit comes out, I believe there will be another superseding indictment against Diddy. I believe there will be more victims against Diddy, more witnesses coming forward. I believe as more people see this stuff coming, more people gonna start getting their evidence ready, start coming. I'm telling y'all this. I'm telling y'all this. This thing, in my opinion, is gonna get worse and worse as the trial get ready to start, because more and more people are gonna be more emboldened, but when they see more people coming forward, to come forward. And people are gonna call them liars. People are gonna say they capping. As I said before, man, you know what I'm saying? I hope and pray that this stuff is not true. But again, this dude, he's naming these people as witnesses at the freak off. Look at it. It says it right there on your screen. He said they're identified as witnesses. So if you really witnessed somebody getting done dirty like this, bro, like, and you did nothing all these years, and you knew what time it was, it's what he's alleging, man. Shit is sad, bro. We should have over 2,000 likes. We should have about 10, 15, 20,000 likes. But people, I've noticed that they don't want to know the truth. That's the problem. They don't want to know the truth. You know what I mean? And then the thing is, you got, and here's the thing. In the lawsuit, it never said nothing about the date. But TMZ go out and talk about they try to give somebody an alibi for King Combs' birthday party date. That doesn't mean that was the day of his birthday party. Now, what if they confirmed that the day of his birthday party was on a different day? Then what TMZ gonna say? Because he did not confirm an actual date of that party in this lawsuit. I noticed that, but TMZ went out their way to give alibis. I seen that now. When this guy, he didn't even put a date. He just said King Combs, who's Christian Combs' birthday party. And we all know it don't got to be your birthday exact date for that be the day you had your party. Especially if your birthday falls on a weekday, you might have your party on a weekend where everybody can come. So who knows? Like I said before, you know, I tell y'all this, man. I tell y'all this, but I tell you another thing: the devil is a liar. And when you walk with God, you fear no evil, and that's facts. You understand? You're not afraid of what the truth is, because whatever the truth is, it is what it's gonna be. It's what it's gonna be. This man is saying these people were witnesses. That's what he's saying. Right? He's saying these people were witnesses. Whether they were or not, only they know. The people who were there. You know, it's not my place to come on here and say they were or they weren't. I know one thing. That daggone police officer said this months ago about celebrities were afraid. And naming certain people he was claiming that was at these freak offs. He said this months ago. People didn't want to listen. Gene Deal. Big shout to that nigga Gene, man.
Powerful. You didn't get that powerful without having 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ups on somebody. Diddy always been the type of individual that want to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. Like, he always played artists against each other. He did it to Big, he did it to Craig Mack. You understand? I said before, he did the stuff to Ja Rule, you know what I'm saying? So had the ups on Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. You understand what I'm saying? So he always played those kind of up games on people. So to have those cameras and know what he was doing is going to give him the ups on everybody who came to that party. Even your favorite basketball player. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. We know who said that. He may be one of the persons who got caught up in the Diddy party.
LeBron said that, but yeah, you might be right. You know, it sounds like he had all them hidden cameras to use it against people.
I think that was said in the indictment, right?
All right, you guys, so we appreciate everybody that popped in, supported this video. Make sure that you guys shop our merch. We got that new A-Weapons merchandise right there below this video. All you got to do is look below. The links will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well to get the merch, to donate, support the channel, and subscribe to our podcast show. You'll see all those links pinned at the top of the comment section of this video. And we appreciate everybody that supports this channel and our networks. Also, that straight drop weight loss formula. Go to the website. You guys will see that. A link for that will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well. Go right there for all of your weight loss needs. Straight drop weight loss formula. We have a lot of testimonials on the website. You can go to www.str-8-drop.com and get you some of the weight loss formula today. Take your weight loss serious. Get in the gym, work out, exercise, and do what you got to do to stay on point. We appreciate everybody that's been locked into this video. Again, all the links are pinned at the top of the comment section below. Salute to all of y'all. And again, we appreciate everybody who support what we doing over here.